Hey guys, it is Izzy and welcome back to a new video. Today's video we are going to be talking about the new M1 Pro and the new M1 Max chips, which are in obviously the new MacBook Pros, the 14-inch and the 16-inch. And I will be giving my thoughts about like the whole M1 Pro and the M1 Max chip and how it's really made a big jump from the previous just M1 chip, which is in the MacBook Air and previous MacBook Pros. So I have a pre-clipped video from actually a few weeks ago. So I made the video on the reaction to the Apple event, and then I included a lot of information about the M1 Pro and the M1 Max specs and everything. So might as well just play it in, and then I'll catch you guys to what I think about it and just my thoughts on the new chips. So the new M1 Pro, so it has 200 gigabytes memory bandwidth, up to 32 gigabytes of memory, so we don't have a clue on if it's DDR5 or 6, and it has 33.7 billion transistors, more than twice the M1. So you guys can see there, they're kind of comparing it with the standard M1 chip in the MacBooks that we got earlier in the year, and you can definitely see through these specs that the M1 Pro just blows the M1 out the way. And the transistors, obviously, they produce more performance in the MacBook, having like the 10-core CPU, which is really great in the M1 Pro chipset, and 8 high performance cores and 2 efficiency cores, which they're trying to balance it out between power and performance. In Windows like laptops, we've all seen that it's all about like the performance. It's amazing, high, has the RTX 30 series card in it, stuff like that. But then when it comes to the power and just the battery life, it's not great. It is definitely not great. And that's one thing Apple trying to do. They're trying to cover between the power and the performance and kind of even them out. You're able to, for example, do some editing whilst having good power, but also being efficient with your battery, having good performance when you're like editing on Adobe Premiere Pro, but also having good power and just like battery life. Apparently, it is 70% faster CPU performance than the standard M1 chip, and it has a 16-core GPU, 8 more than the M1. So when it comes to just graphic design, Premiere Pros, and all the editing and just advanced stuff, it's gonna be really great. On the M1 chip itself, it has actually a separate part to where there's actually, it's called, I'm pretty sure it's separate display engine. So if you want to run multiple monitors, like high quality 4K monitors, it has a certain just part of the chip where it only just focuses on getting the best quality out of your MacBook to just other good quality monitors. Moving on to the M1 Max. Now, with my own opinions, just putting it out there, I nearly jumped out of my seat when I looked at the specs. This just, it kind of defines the word Pro, and it kind of, in a way, just defines the word Pro, and then just Max is just this really, I think Apple has done a really great job, and hopefully the things they've said, the things on paper they've said, hopefully is true when we have the device itself, and tech reviewers have tested it to see if it actually performs as well as it says on paper. So the new M1 Max has 400 gigabytes, so that's obviously double the bandwidth of the M1 Pro, and obviously, as it says there, 6 times more than the M1, which is, that's crazy, and up to 64 gigabytes of unidentified memory. So this 64 gigabytes, to me, that's crazy. 64 gigabytes is crazy to me, and especially that I only have, I think, 16 gigabytes in my computer and 8 gigabytes in my laptop, which is a Windows HP Pavilion laptop. It's crazy. 64 gigabytes is so, I can't really call it overkill because it's Max. It's M1 Max for a reason. And obviously we have no idea if it's DDR5 or 6. Hopefully it's DDR6. But moving into the transistors, it has 57 billion transistors, which that's literally nearly, like maybe nearly as close as double the transistors in the M1 Pro. Not quite, but still, that's a great amount of transistors there to help out the 10-core CPU and the 32-core GPU. That's right, the 32-core GPU. That's crazy. That's honestly insane. But it's 4 times faster than the GPU power on the M1. Great power efficiency for more power and amazing performance, which is really good. And looking at these two new chipsets, I was just really shocked. I was just insanely shocked with the performance that it can bring, apparently, until obviously people have got the device. But looking at the stuff they've written, it's crazy. It's pretty. Going through into my thoughts, the first question you would like to ask yourself is, how does this new chip help people? And getting just the word people, I think there's different groups of people who like laptops and use them for different reasons, and there's the people who can use them for like videography, photography, gaming, coding, and just other advanced and I just think heavy stuff that you would normally do on a computer, but you'd like to do it on a laptop. And that's where the M1 Pro and the M1 Max really comes in to help incorporate where it's supposed to be. So as I feel like it really is a good thing for just anyone who wants to do any heavy stuff that you normally do on your computer, that you can do on your laptop on the go and still get decent battery life, as the M1 chip is really battery efficient and just really good when it comes to handling battery and power at the same time. And I understand how this really comes at really a pricey point, as it's around, I think, 1,900, 1,800 for the base model M1 Pro, Macbook Pro. So like, it's pretty pricey, and I think a lot of people kind of take a second thought if they really want to buy this for what they want to do. Is it something that heavy to the point where the previous MacBooks with the M1 chip can't handle what they're doing? But I believe that Apple's going in a good direction with this new M1 Pro and the M1 Max chip, especially for people, as I said, who want to do just heavy duty stuff that they will do on their computer, but instead can do it on the go on their laptop. If you did enjoy today's video, please hit the like button and please subscribe, as that would really be appreciated, and I will catch you in my next video. See you.